Hey guys, this is my tutorial on how to play God-Shaped Hole by Audio Adrenaline from their record, Some Kind of Zombie. I think it came out in 1997. I'm going to show you the first page here real quick, and then I'm going to play through it. And then I'll do a little bit of explanation on how I did it. I played it and everything. Just take a minute, pause the video if you want to really look at the chords, or rewind the video back to look at what's going on. There's that verse 1 there, and I guess what you can see is how there's an A7 suspended here with a 1 count under it, and then the first lines of the first verse are in italicized, and then it's here solid with that chord in parentheses, because this is that here, so it's kind of helping you go into that's why I did it that way. And then finally there's the pre-chorus and what technically the chorus starting here. Hold that up for another second or two there so you can pause the video and let it hang as long as you need to. Okay, so I'll just play through the first page first. I'll play it a little bit slower than the recording to keep it easy to understand. Here we go. It's got a God-shaped hole. Okay, just going to stop at the beginning of the second page. So what I have is sort of my Love Song for a Savior method, which, not just because that method works for this song, but I think it actually is the way it was played. It's just like I'm leaving my fingers on the whole time while I mute strings I need to mute and cover strings I need to cover. For the G, I mute the 5th string, and so I'm muting it, and it sounds like, and then I'm covering the 6th. So it kind of, as it pushes down, it kind of hangs over and touches the 5th string below it enough to mute it. So you have this. There's your G, and the D with the F sharp is probably a D suspended with an F sharp in the bass, technically. I'm still muting the 5th string below when I just slide my finger over 1, and then the 3rd string I press down here. So it should sound like that. And then for my G with a B in the bass, I'm doing and I kind of let this finger rest on the 6th string to mute it. So again, that chord was. And then for my A7 suspended chord, quote unquote, it's I'm still muting. This finger just stays where it is, and my pointer jumps down from the 5th to the 4th. And I do leave my 5th string open while I'm muting my 6th by reaching up. So I'm going, and repeat that set of chords once, then twice, and then again, and then we hang on to our A7 suspended before we come to our lyric, all around the world people are trying. So that's how that works. And then for my pre-chorus, the big lead into the A minor, you know, however you do an A minor is fine, you know, whatever works is what you should do. So I just kind of reach up with my pinky to mute my 6th string, so I get that. You can practice not even hitting your 6th string, but mute it just in case you do. That way it doesn't sound. You don't want it to. Or if your bad habit is this, you know, whatever, you know, find a way to make your chords in a way that flows easily from one chord to the next. Then I go to D. So all my fingers kind of jump. Personally, if you have a better way of transitioning from the A minor to the D, do it your way. But I do mute my 5th and 6th strings by resting my pinky in between them. In this particular way of doing that chord, you could bar it and do this and mute them that way. And whoops, I screwed that up. It just matters that the only strings that are heard are your D chord. Or if you even want to do a, well, power chord's not so good. Or whatever, if you like sliding up here and doing a D, but it doesn't sound like the recording. You know, whatever works. Yeah, and then the God-shaped hole, the chorus is really, you're doing the intro chords again. So you've already learned those when you've launched, you've learned the intro. And then we'll move on to page 2. Page 2, the verse 2, the chord progression is pretty much the same as verse 1, so I won't go over that again. If you need to rewind and go back to what I said on verse 1, or watch me play it, or a bit of both of those to get that. The second pre-chorus and chorus are the same pretty much. And then there's a bridge, and I will show you that page. That page with verse 2, with how the chords go there. Then the second pre-chorus, and technically the chorus being here, where that is got a God-shaped hole. Yes, bad grammar, whatever. There we go. Second pre-chorus and chorus. And then the guys in the background got a God-shaped hole. Every heart and soul happened a couple times. And what I did, what's going to be weird that you'll notice here is the top chords are not italicized. The bottom chords are. The top chords correspond to the counts of the beat that I transcribed. The italicized chords correspond to how they fall with the italicized words. So when you get to whole, you go to your G with B and the bass, and when you get to heart, you go to your E minor 7th. And that was just, if this is confusing you and you're more of a word follower, follow the italicized chords. They're the same. G, you know, these 4 chords are the same. And I did the same thing down here. So if that's confusing at all, here I'll once again hold that there still so you can really see it. And pause the video so you can see it as forever long as you need to. And then there's the bridge. Just an E minor 7th and a C 2nd, and I'll play through that so you can hear what it's kind of sounding like slowed down, and then of course you can play along with the record. Oh, and one more note I did make there was on that last D chord, hold it out for 8 counts. There, but again, yeah, look at the chart if you need to, as long as you need to. Let me go ahead and play through that entire second page. Let me hold the guitar at a better angle too. Excuse me. Okay, I went into the third page a little just to show the bridge between the two. We just looked at the second page. I don't know. With the E minor 7, I do this. I go. That's another thing I kind of missed explaining. In the chorus, they kind of the bass player goes up into a higher E note, which is why okay. Why, huh? Let's see, because I'm looking at it backwards. Instead of this going from a G in the bass to a A7th suspended, he goes into a high E note, so I went into an E minor 7th to play a harmonious chord that went with that. I'm not sure that's exactly what they did, but it sounds harmonious with what the bass was doing, so the bass guitar. So I did an E minor 7th, and then we went back to our G, D, G with B, and then A7 suspended. And like I said, if you've watched my Love Song for Savior, it's that chord, E minor 7th, with probably say E minor added 9th technically. And that kind of works with how it is in the recording. That you could do that. You're playing a true E minor 7th that way. Then your C second. Left all alone. Kind of that slide up that I hear somebody doing on the electric. You can let your electric guy handle that if you're the rhythm acoustic guy. But yeah, there's that. So there's page 2. Okay, page 3. Let's look at that. Okay, so there's a guitar solo that happens, and there's like some strings that are played in the background, or synthesized strings or something. You know, have your keyboardists take care of that. Your magical fingered multi-keyboarding keyboardists do that. Part there, and there's a guitar in there, like da 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 da, kind of a classic little bend at the end, but just before you go into the I've got a God-shaped hole. Again, for the third chorus, so you got all mapped out there. Of course, pause the video as you need to see what you need to see. Sorry, my finger's covering stuff. Let me move that and let it hang it for a couple more seconds. So you can pause the video and really look at that. And what I called an outro, which is basically a return of the first 2 lines of the first verse. And then you just hold out that A7th suspended chord at the end, like they do on the recording. So let's play through that. And again, this is more the rhythm acoustic part. It's kind of playing in the background where all the strings are happening and all the, it's getting full-on band playing strong here. So here you are strumming in the background going 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's the end of your song. The outro just kind of gets quiet. It's like he says, people are trying really to re-emphasize that line. Like, man, they're just trying so hard to fill that God-shaped hole in their hearts that only God can fill. Yeah, just make sure your singer gets that point across in an emotional and correct way. Head and heart out there working together. yeah, so I mean, you just kind of slow down at the end, get quiet at the end, you know, or you'd have, I think, sort of a feedback that just kind of goes, the electric guitar feeds back and fades out, and just the acoustic and the voice, and that's about it. And then the song ends. So there you go. There's my tutorial for God Shaped Hole by Audio Adrenaline. I just liked the song and remembered it, and finally figured out how to play it and was happy with that and wanted to share it. So, and this is my 90s Christian rock channel, so there it is. Enjoy, and tell me if you play it. Tell me how your practice is going. Tell me if the video needs something else, or maybe a little side video if there's something I missed or something. You know, comment. You know, communicate with me. I make better videos if you do that. If you like what you see and you'd like it to be better. Working on some new technology stuff. I got a video editing program I need to work with, and probably eventually going to have to make a purchase on, and things, and multi-tracking so I can have solos in the background and other guitar parts played at the same time, and just challenging myself to be a better musician by doing this stuff. So anyway, if anybody remembers this song, I hope you enjoyed it. So keep learning.